In today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix FPS drops and boost your FPS and maybe fix some FPS stutters. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like this video, subscribe, and let's get right into the video. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and in my last video when I did the YouTube video about best settings, best graphics settings and stuff like that, I don't think I went over everything. So today I'm going to go over some other settings that might help you fix any FPS stutters, and I'm going to be explaining some other settings, maybe some settings you may have to turn on through the BIOS update, to the BIOS, which require you to restart your PC and press F12 on your keyboard. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to start off by going to my settings real quick and going to power and sleep. Okay, power and sleep is something that you want to make sure you have the right settings for, because you can have this at like 15 minutes, both of these, right? You want to make sure you have both of these on never. Okay, you don't want none of these at anything, any amount, just never. I have this performance energy best performance because I have a certain power plan. It's made by Adam X. Sorry, if I go to additional power plan, Adam X, this is his power plan that I've been using for quite some time. He specified it to have the best performance and the lowest latency. If you go here to the setting, right, you go to power and sleep and you go to additional power related settings, right, you might have balance, I think medium or something, I'm not sure, I don't remember, and then high performance will be, and it'll look like a line like this, and then it'll have an arrow. What you're gonna do is click on that arrow and it should pop up high performance. You want to click on that one because high performance is what you want to be using for your computer, whether you have a lower end computer or high end computer. Lower end meaning like 16, I don't know, 10 series, maybe 20 series, like a low end now, because we're already in the 40 series, and we're probably going to be going to the 50 series soon. So yeah, around that range, it's like okay, you have a lower end, medium end computers are like the 30 series and up. Would say like a good medium, and if you have a good processor like the 7000 series, or for Intel the 13s or the 14, it's like the 13s and 12 like the mid end. Now when you get to the high end, that's like a 40 series card and the last generation processor. So what you want to do here is just go ahead and turn that on, high performance, and there's some settings within that you can change. I also changed myself. Here's some power options that I currently have. Starting out with the PCI Express. You want to, if this setting is on by any chance, just turn that off. It tells you what it does. But yeah, you want to go ahead and turn that on. Now, when you go to processor power management, there's going to be a lot of settings right here, but the only two that you have to only work with is the one that says minimum processor state. You want to make sure that that is at 100%. And then maximum processor state, make sure that is also at 100%. It should tell you what it does, and you want to make sure it's on. So you want to it runs everything at its maximum power instead of leaving you out with like a certain percentage and you're not getting the best performance out of your computer. So that's what I changed right there. Now I'm gonna go over some other quick settings. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop you guys right there. I want you guys to try out this Gear Up application that I currently use. And I would like you guys to really try it out for Warzone or any other game that you currently use. It's an application you can use to lower your MS, and it will find you the best servers closest to you, so you can get the best connection possible. I'll leave a link in the description. I hope you guys try it out. Once you try it, download it, you sign in, you make an account and stuff like that. You're gonna find the game that you like to play. You have a 3-day trial, and then you click boost. It'll automatically connect to the server. Once you do that, you just turn on your game, you get into it, and you can check while in game if it's working. You'll see the different percentages and the server that you're in and stuff like that. But with that being said, just try it out, and then I'll leave a link in the description. Now back to the video. That maybe if you're not familiar with, that is the let me go to task manager real quick. If I go to performance, right, memory, your RAM, you might have 8 gigs of RAM. If you have 8 gigabytes of RAM only and you're playing Warzone, you're gonna notice a lot of FPS drops, stutters, and you won't like playing the game at all, right? When you have 16, it's doable. Okay, it's doable. but it'll be here and there. Now, when you have 32, that's when you're like in the stage of like, okay, now I can game. Now you can just play the game without having to worry about any FPS settings or anything like that, because you have a big amount of RAM storage that the game can, run itself through instead of limiting itself to to just a little amount of space. If you understand what I'm saying. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM running at 6,000 megahertz. They normally run at 48, if I'm not mistaken. If you have 16 gigabytes of RAM and you're a DDR4, you might be running at 2133 and you haven't checked and never checked before. And if you go to your BIOS, you can make it go, you could turn on XMP mode, which is a profile that allows your RAM to go to the maximum speed, which you might have it at 2133 and yours could go up to 3200 or 3600, right? So it's something you want to go ahead and look into. I can show you guys how to update that in, I don't know, next video or something. But yeah, it's something that you want to make sure you look into. Also, if your processor, right, you can also try to overclock your processor. I have a Ryzen 7 7700X 8-core processor. When I installed it and I had it, my cores said 6 and 12 because I used to have a Ryzen 5 3600 and I never changed the settings to the cores to use the maximum. So I was using basically 6 cores. So I fixed that. It's something called system configuration. This is a setting that when you go to, if I'm not mistaken, boots, and then you go to advanced options, right here, you're going to see the number of it might be unchecked, right? It might be unchecked. What I would recommend is typing in the search bar, searching up system configuration, go to boot, go to advanced options, and if this is unchecked, click it and make sure you put the most amount of processor cores that you have to your CPU. So with that being said, when you go to task manager, yours might, if it says, it'll say either 12, 16, 24, around that range. So just put the maximum amount here. You press OK, press apply, press OK again, and it'll tell you to restart. But you can just restart manually whenever you like. And you should be, when you restart it, you can check again, and it should have all the processor used. Okay, then now I'm gonna be talking about Ryzen Master. This is the application for my processor that I can use to see the temperature, the peak speed, CPU power, all of it, right? What every core is running and how much is using. This is application that you don't want to mess with a lot with if you don't know what it does. A lot of settings that I don't touch and I keep default for a certain reason. Okay. This is advanced view. This is basic view, but this is more like you could just see temperature, speed, voltage, all that. When you go to advanced view, that's when you can change settings and add settings and stuff like that. Right now, this is a setting that I currently use. So here, if I show you again, this is its base speed is 4.50. It's running at 4.93. When I press apply, it'll apply 5.3 something, right? But when I go here, now it's running at 5.31. And I think the maximum speed is 5.5. Sorry. It's 5.5. So I just put it too lower so it doesn't like, I don't want to overclock it too much to where it runs out too quickly, if you understand what I'm saying. So I just keep it at a certain range just to be safe. This can also help you if you have a Ryzen CPU and you do your research, and if you see how much it goes up to, you can see what's its base speed and then its maximum speed, which if you overclock it, you can notice some FPS changes and you might get some more FPS. So yeah, if you have Ryzen Master, then either you go to one of these profiles, whatever, and what you do is you want to set the voltage. Right now, my voltage is 1.18. And what I do is you go to just enable. You got to enable this. You got to enable it. And then once you're here, you basically just change it. I don't know. Sorry. Let me see. I think you just got to, I don't know, OS something. Manual. Here it is. Lord. So it would, yeah, and you click that so they all can move at the same time. So yeah, you put it, if it says 4.50 or it says 5 point something is the maximum, what you would do is just, if it says 4, just 4 by itself, you just put 4, right? You just put 4, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You press apply, and you'll see it in your task manager. It'll change right here automatically, and it'll stay at that speed that you set it to. But yeah, you'll go here, you'll put a new profile or whatever, your profile. You can change the name, you manual, and then yeah, that's what I normally do. You can also check your core voltage. You can also search that up, search what is the voltage for this and for your processor, and you can find out what it is, right? But yeah, that's something that I really, really want you guys to understand. So now I'm gonna go over into some in-game settings and explain what each setting really does. I don't know if on my last video I really did well on that, but I'll try to explain some settings. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be showing you guys NVIDIA control settings that you guys should be using currently. Okay, NVIDIA's control panel has a lot of settings that you can use if you have a NVIDIA graphics card. With that being said, these are the best 3D settings for your computer to use. So what I want you guys to go ahead and do is open up NVIDIA control panel, go to the Manage 3D Settings tab, make sure use preference and phasing is all the way to performance. Go back here, and then copy these settings real quick. Those are the best settings you guys should be using currently. And if you ever want to adjust your color settings and get that vibrant, like a lot of color, digital vibrant is what you should be using to, if you put it at 100, you'll see a lot of color into your monitor. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, those are the best settings for the NVIDIA control panel. So with that being said, on to the next part. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this is a quick setting that you can turn on while the game is starting. If you go to Windows settings, you go to system, go to system, go all the way down to about. It's gonna show you all your processor stuff and whatnot. If you go to where is it? Advanced system settings. Now, this is a big setting that can also help your FPS. Honestly, if you go to settings real quick, this tab right here, visual effects. This is a performance option that you guys should definitely try and have on. There's 3 different settings. You don't want the one that says let Windows decide. Do not have that on at all. Adjust for best performance, adjust for performance, whatever. Just put custom. It'll uncheck everything, and I think is adjust this one, yeah, and then go to custom and put the one that says show thumbnails instead of icons, and then smooth edges, screen fonts. Do that, apply, okay, and you should notice a little bit more FPS, because those settings will definitely kill your FPS, and yeah, you do not want to mess with that. But yeah, it's a performance option that you can definitely turn on and try out. Now let's go to the in-game settings. Okay, let's go to the settings real quick. Now we got okay, so I use full screen borderless because I have two monitor screens, right? I have 2 monitor screens, and the best option for me is to use full screen borderless, not full screen exclusive. You can use whichever one you like and it's best to you. I have a 27-inch monitor, 240 hertz. It's a Acer Predator. I have a 3060 Ti. I'm trying to get a 4070, but it's gonna take me some time. But yeah, and also if you're ever noticing any stutters in game, you can also restart shaders preloading. You can click that option and it'll restart them for you. And yeah, display gamma. If you have a TV, you use 2.4. If you have a monitor, use 2.2. Feel like that's pretty obvious. Nvidia reflex low latency. If your processor is what's the name for it? If it's like has more power, it demands more power in your graphics card, then you put an on plus boost. If your graphics card is like how do you say, it's more, let's say your graphics card does more than your CPU because your CPU is low end and your graphics card is high end, put it on. If it's the all the way around, put it on plus boost. These are my current settings. I'm always switching them. I don't know why, but this is what I'm currently using right now. Fidelity FX Cast is the best setting to use in game to see your enemies, sharpening, the quality, everything is great. Right now I'm currently using normal. These don't really affect other than this one, I can just use low. But if you're a low end PC, 8 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, I recommend you putting this on low and this one on low. But since I have a good processor, it doesn't really affect me as much. Detail quality, you can keep this at low or normal. The effect is not really that high. It says it right here. Honestly, these is personal preference at the end of the day. If you see it doesn't move at all, so personal preference. This one, it doesn't really matter if you have it turned on or not. Honestly, you can keep that off if you like. Shaders quality, I have that on low. Demand, texture, and streaming off as well. Local off as well. All of these are off. Honestly, you don't need none of these. And if environment, these ones right down here, they can measure FPS. Like I'm talking about, you're getting 40 FPS. You turn all these off, you go to 140. If you understand what I'm saying. So just don't mess with those at all. Those are my current settings. Honestly, there's really not much to it. These are my view settings. Audio settings. If you guys want to also see, this is all personal preference at the same time. Yeah, this this is what my current settings look like. You want to make sure if you're using stretch res, it can also help you, or you can lower this down just like to 90%, and you can gain some FPS. If you lower it down, the more you lower it down, the more FPS you get, but the game will look a little more blurry and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed this video and you guys have any questions, any comments, any concerns, you can always go to my Discord, join it up, hit me up if you want to talk to me personally, or if you want to leave a comment down below. I'll be more glad to help you guys out with any questions that you guys have that I can try to fix. I know a lot about PCs, whether it's inside your computer or games, systems, software, anything. Just let me know. I can try to help you as best as I can. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm just trying to help you guys out. If you have any FPS problem with Warzone, because Warzone does take a lot of space and FPS, and their game, it's not really well updated to gain a lot of FPS. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll try to make another one on the XMP profiles for the RAM and stuff like that. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.